O God, on behalf of your humble servant, we stand before you and offer our most sincere and humble prayer to you. You who are the Lord of all creation, the one and only God, and our Father in heaven. You who live and breathe at this very moment in heaven, that shines gloriously within the center of the consciousness of each one of us. O God, you were the presider of the grand ceremony to celebrate the birth of the Messiah that took place on June 15 this year. Since then, as your divine work has continued to advance without rest, we who came to know that the new heaven and the new earth exist within each one of us, gathered here today, on this auspicious day, to hold the monthly service. O God, we praise you. We praise you who welcomed the whole universe and everything into your new work of creation. Allow us, O God, to return the glory of your work into your hand. Allow us, O God, to revert to the works of atonement and resurrection that you accomplished together with Jesus. Allow us, O God, to respond to the sacred word of Meshu Sama, the sacred word that says we will save the entire human race by working in concert with Christians. Allow us, O God, to return to heaven that exists within us and to surrender through the name of Messiah all thoughts and feelings that arise in our hearts and minds into your hand. The thoughts and feelings that you already atoned for and forgave. Allow us, O God, to serve in the work of salvation through the outgoing and incoming breath, the work that is filled with hope and glory, making all creation revive, and thus making all people to born anew as children of God. This year, O God, marks the 140th anniversary of Meshu Sama's birth. On the day we celebrate his birth, allow us, O God, to serve, to hold the service for the births of Meshu Sama and Jesus Christ with enormous joy. Our God, may all glory, authority, and blessing be forever yours. For you and you only are the King forever and ever. Amen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you again. Saw you just on Friday as well. Thank everyone that is participating in the service today. This month we had two services very close to each other. We have Meshu Sama service very soon. I hope all of you are healthy and safe. First of all, I want to express my gratitude to God and Meshu Sama for allowing us to really be here today and for protecting us. They are always protecting and always sending their light light to us. And I want to start the service today talking about that Meshach Sama's birthday this year. It's also special. We will celebrate the 140th year of Meshach Sama's birthday. I believe you could hear that on the opening prayer as well that Meshach Sama wrote. And I want to acknowledge that we are here today because Meshach Sama came to the earth. Meshach Sama was born here, and he became a Messiah, and he did all these service to God. And that's why we are here today. That's why I could meet each one of you, and we are sharing our lives together. From this year, we will celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ together with the birth of Meshach Sama. Many people used to ask me before, many years ago, they always used to ask me, why you just celebrate Meshach Sama service and you don't celebrate Jesus? Why you don't celebrate the Christmas? And I always had that question in my mind, because most of us that born in Western countries, we have this Christian culture and the Christian heart in our souls. And I always had that question, and I always celebrated both, in fact, because we are, I believe, very Christians as well, not just in Brazil, but of course in Australia and in many Western, Occidental countries. So I believe by celebrating the service, even the title of the service, we are not calling this year Meshach Sama's birthday service. We are calling service for the birth of Meshach Sama and Jesus Christ. And I believe it will add a greater spiritual meaning to our faith as Meshach Sama asked us to walk in concert with Christianity. I pray to God to give us the strength to continue our faith, learning the new teachings, new translations of Meshach Sama's teachings through Meshach Sama's guidance. And today I want to share with you one sacred word of Meshach Sama that was translated recently, and by coincidence was the same teaching that we read last night on our evening service. The title of the teaching is Manifestation of God's Power. The time has come when the universe is to be blessed. And the teaching starts with a question to Meshach Sama. Meshach Sama, you have changed the name of your church to Sekai Mashiach Kyo, which means World Church of Messiah. As you know, Jesus Christ has also been designated as the Messiah. What is the relationship between our use of the term Messiah and the Christian use of it? And Meshach Sama answered, in the West, indeed, people call Jesus the Messiah. But let me say that they still do not have a concrete definition of the term Messiah. The Savior has yet to accomplish his true objective, or rather, he was not able to manifest his true power until the first half of the 20th century. But now, at last, the time has come when God reveals his true power. In the West, from now on, I am certain that the Christ is going to demonstrate his true potential. And in the East, the Messiah will definitely manifest His true divine power. This cannot be understood with the kinds of religious notions we have had until today. A more mystic and majestic divine power will appear for the first time in human history. I am simply a representative of the Messiah, so I have no idea in what way or form the Messiah will take his course of action. But seeing, albeit slight, from how God is advancing his work now, I have a feeling that a tremendous spiritual power is going to bless the universe. That I can say for the moment. And Meishi Sama wrote that in March 11, 1950, just 3 months after beginning our church with the name World Church of Messiah. So we can learn from this sacred word of Meishi Sama that his wishes was for us as well to understand the true meaning of Messiah. This teaching he wrote in 1950, so he didn't become a Messiah yet at that time. He just became in 1954, isn't it? So that's why I believe Meishi Sama said that I can say for now. So he couldn't say anymore about Messiah at that time. And I am so grateful for all the new material we are receiving monthly from Kyosho Sama in 3 languages. We are always receiving in Japanese, English, and Portuguese, the main 3 ones. And then after, I am receiving some different translations too, even to Greek, French, Spanish. So I believe many countries, even in Thai as well. So many countries are receiving these new translations in their own language as well. I want also to remind you of our pledge we did together at the grand ceremony to celebrate the birth of the Messiah this year. If you want to take one home as well, I left our pledge we did at the entrance, at the table at the entrance. And at the end of the pledge we did to God, we said, "Oh God, we believe that Jesus is the Messiah. We believe that Meishi Sama is the Messiah. From now on, oh God, we reaffirm our commitment to go forward obedient to the words of Meishi Sama, who declared that his church works in concert with Christianity. O God, today, members of the World Church of Messiah around the world pledge to you to aim to be born anew as children of God, Messiahs, and to serve in this salvation that is open to all humanity, always being one heart with Kyosho Sama, who represents Meishi Sama here on earth." So these were the words that we pledged to God on the ceremony of the birth of the Messiah this year. So let's always have these words in our heart to give us, the north for us to keep following. From now on, for us to continue deepening our understanding about what is Messiah, there is one point that I believe is very important. The understanding that God is sending his light every day. I believe this point is very important, because otherwise we would be feeling like we're still missing to channel joy. But if we realize that we are truly receiving 24/7 delight. I believe this is really essential for all of us to try to understand how we need to become this child of God and understand our mission as a Messiah. The song in itself is God's salvation, giving us His strength for us to live, recognizing God with us. And we need to gain the certainty that God is behind everything and God exists inside of us. This point may sound repetitive, but I'm praying for all of you to truly experience it. To say that God lives inside of us, I believe is a very beautiful expression. But to fully experience that concept in our hearts, I believe that is we need to train our soul to fully experience. To say I believe is easier, and it's beautiful, sounds really beautiful too. But to experience, we need to try to train our soul over and over, I believe. Returning everything to God and really feeling that He is inside of us. As an example, let us think together on a few questions. How many times do we remember this God that lives inside of us in a day? How many times? Can you count? I believe all of you can count. Come on, don't be shy. I believe all of you can count at least a few times a day. And how much time do we dedicate to this God during our lives in one day? How much time are we dedicating to this God that lives inside of us? I'm sure that God dedicates to us 24 hours, sending His light to our spirit. And do we always thank this God for the food we eat, for our family, for our friends, for our work? We come back home and we have a home. We can leave. We open the fridge, there's full of food. I believe all this time, every day, each minute, we can return to this God. We can really feel Him inside of us and be grateful, return our gratitude to God, return the feelings of our family, our friends, our ancestors, and we can have a more intimate relationship with God. We humans tend to forget our intimate relationship with God, and that God lives inside of us. Sometimes we feel like our life does not have much intimate relationship with our spirit, and we end up focusing just on the material life and all the material things around us. As a result, we end up always searching for more love, more money, and more positions in the society. This is one of the reasons we cannot see that God is in everything, because we always think that God is not giving us everything we need. I believe it's not your case. I believe all of you, followers of Messiah, are truly trying to be more altruistic and trying to get rid of all these human wishes of more and more and more. Of course, we have to always try to be a better person, always try to raise ourselves and raise the family. But I believe at the same time as we have some wishes, we need to be grateful that we are already receiving enough from God as well. Imagine if everything in our life was perfect. Do you think we would be searching or praying to God? I believe our lives could be quite different if we did not have any difficulty to overcome or grow. So let us believe that God is always watching over us. And there is something that Reverend Watanabe always used to teach us. And very interestingly, Masaaki Sama was talking about that too on last guidance in Japan. Unfortunately, we don't have it in English yet. I will wait until we have the full translation in English. But it was about our faith and our life. It's like God will always give us a little vessel. And He will always be pouring light and blessings, and until overflows, we are waiting. And that period of waiting to overflow of blessings. And sometimes we feel that God is not giving us anything. But it's because the vessel is still pouring with light and blessings in our vessel. So we feel that daily, nothing's happening. I'm doing so much dedication, I'm doing so many things, but nothing's happening because you still feel it. Then one will overflow. Then we wake up and we receive big blessings. We receive visible blessings, not invisible. But these ones, until God is putting a lot of blessings in our vessel, we cannot see, but we are receiving daily. And then when overflows, we will receive a bigger one. Of course, a bigger one will take a little bit more time, isn't it? To fill up again. Then overflows again. And then we will receive a bigger one. Imagine the size of the vessel of Reverend Watanabe. Imagine how much it would be to wait until overflows and he could see everything. And imagine the vessel of Kyosho-sama. How Kyosho-sama is able to always feel blessed and feel like really permeated by God's light every day. And He is really always teaching that to us. So for Kyosho-sama, I believe, would be way more challenging than to us. But he's always studying every day, reading Meishu-sama's teachings, reading the Bible, comparing what Jesus said, what Meishu-sama was saying, to try to teach to us. We are doing beautiful studies, and if you check on the Facebook of the church and on my Facebook too, because I always forward to everyone, there's beautiful studies about Meishu-sama and the Bible. So let's study together. And I'll try to go back to the main point. I believe that we need to feel always permeated with the love of God instead of feeling empty and unprotected. So only craving for love of human beings, I believe we are not going to receive the love of God that we most want. I believe the love that we really need to receive and feel is the love of God every day. There's a beautiful word from Joshua Sama that he taught us last year, which says, the power and the light that resurrected Jesus and made the Messiah born inside of Meshu Sama is the light of God. This is the light that exists inside of us and maintains our spirit. This is the light that gives us eternal life. So let us be sure that God is sustaining our spirit with His love and light every day until the eternity, not until when our days finish here. God always treasures our soul and feelings to educate and nurture us, and God is always using us in the new divine work that teaches us that God lives within us and in everything. Remember what Meshu Sama wants is a cultural reformation. Meshu Sama doesn't want just to advance a religion. Meshu Sama stated clearly in many teachings that we need to build a new culture. I believe that's what it means, what Meshu Sama said, that we were walking in one direction, but now we have to turn 180 degrees and start walking in another direction. And leave all our old concepts behind. Otherwise we won't understand the faith from now on. So I pray and I return our soul and feelings and all existence to God to be able to work on this second phase of creation. This second phase of creation that Meshu Sama showed us is for us to return to God everything that is manifesting in our hearts, representing all humanity. And that was exactly my feelings on the time of the service today as well. On the time of the prayer, I was just trying to have a blank mind, not asking anything, and returning our hearts, returning the hearts of all humanity. Returning everything to God is not just a faith practice. It is a concrete dedication. We just cannot see in our eyes, but it's a concrete dedication. Last month I had the pleasure of going to Tasmania and meeting the members in Tasmania too, and in Melbourne. Before that I went to see the members in Perth, and I was so happy to see that even they are so far away from us here in Sydney, but we are connected in the same soul, we are connected in the same heart, and I could practice the soul, the returning of our soul and our feelings, our heart, with each one of them. I could practice and we could pray together, we could surrender together the soul, and after that we did some prayers together as well. So I hope that all of us can unite ourselves in that special dedication of surrendering our heart and surrendering our soul to God every day. I hope we can prepare ourselves spiritually for the service, for the birth of Meshu Sama and Jesus Christ, and if possible, saying to God, I already have everything. I wish in my life that always I be grateful and full. I already have everything. I don't need anything more. I already have you, God, inside of my soul. So let's try to have this song when we come to Meishu Sama's birthday service and Jesus' birthday service. Can I count on you to try to train this song until 18th of December? So please, I hope that all of us will train our song until the birthday of Meishu Sama and Jesus Christ. I will close my message today praying to God that Meishu Sama's wishes to be materialized inside of each one of us. Thank you very much, and may God and Meishu Sama bless you. I forgot just to mention, probably you saw this picture at the reception. It says about the service for the births of Meishu Sama and Jesus Christ, the special ceremony to celebrate Meishu Sama's 140th birth anniversary. So it's on the reception as well. So please, and all the members that are the interstate members that are connected on the internet, I sent you via WhatsApp, I think yesterday. So have a look on this picture. It's a beautiful picture that they created in Japan for all of us to celebrate the birth of Meishu Sama and Jesus Christ on our special service at the end of the year. Okay? Thank you very much, and may God bless you.